So my name is, oh yes, Aquarius, or Aquari for short, and I'm a Tulsa Remote finalist. I'm actually set to go within 1 month, and I'll be honest. Oh my God, when I applied, it really was just I was just tired. I got to a place in my life where I was just truly, truly tired. I went through what felt like trauma. It was a breakup. And I'm an Aquarius, so, my emotions work differently than most people's. And so with that breakup, it took a big toll on me. And I felt like I was asleep for about 3 years after that breakup. And basically, all I did is sit in this house and just kind of wait. And you say, wait for what? Wait for death. I was just waiting for it to knock at my door and take me. I was here. I was physically here. I was doing stuff, but I still felt like I was stuck in a space, you know. And now I look back and realize all the stuff I did in those 2 years, even though I felt like I was asleep. I was just doing what needed to be done to get through the days. And that's a hard pill to swallow, but whatever. But anyway, while I was in that trance, I'm guessing my inner self was like, okay, girl, we got to get about this trance. So I applied to Tulsa Remote. And my best friend was telling me, about it. And she was like, she was telling me it was a thing. And I started doing some studying and research. And the one thing about me, when I want to try something, I will research the hell out of it before I apply, and things like that. But I did. I applied, and before I searched, I reached out. I looked on Reddit, I looked on YouTube, I looked on TikTok to try to find, just see whatever I can learn about it, see what I can find about it, see what it was all about. So after that, I ended up going to, so I did all that research. So then I applied. And when I applied, I just put everything into it that I felt like they needed to hear. I told them about my volunteer work. I told them about my crafting, about my businesses. Now, let me tell you, I'm like a plethora. I can help you do anything I can help you achieve anything you want to achieve, but it's me that I have problems with. Like, I can't pep talk myself. I pep talk myself enough, but I can pep talk the fuck out of you. I can't pep talk the fuck out of me. It don't work like that all the time, so, but I told them all about me, the things I enjoy doing, things that push me and what I want to do, even though I wasn't doing anything at the time. I'm not sure I wasn't doing anything at all, you know. And so I'll tell you though, this whole situation is everything that I've been going through over the last 3 years while I was asleep. I felt like prepared me for this moment right now. If I take y'all back, at one time during that, I was so scared to leave the city. I was so scared that the person that I was trying to run away from was going to forget me. So I was scared to leave the city. It's like, I want to make sure I'm here. I want to be here at their bacon call. If they need a friend, they need to come over. Whatever they needed from me, I needed to be here. And I think that's the biggest thing about this move. Because I don't want my person to yearn or hurt or miss me. But I know they won't. People get over people easily, and that's something I've learned within myself. But that's a whole different topic. Let's move on. But when I got, so I applied. I put in my put everything in there. I put about my dog. I put about my little dog business I got. My goal is to make a dog boutique. I can't go into details because I don't want anybody to steal my true idea within that. But yeah. Okay, sorry, I had to contain myself. So what I was saying was, so I applied. So afterwards, I didn't think nothing else of it. Really didn't. Just was like, all right, well, whatever. Now, mind you, this was my second time applying, y'all. I applied, I want to say earlier in the year, like, no, because it was like March when I got my stuff. So it was like October of the year before I had applied. But I just did like a little foo-foo thing. I didn't even really put no thought or anything into it. I didn't even try. You know, when I applied this time, I smoke weed. I am a avid smoker. Like, the world knows now. It don't even matter. It is what it is, okay? But I got a card, okay? So don't come for me. Come for your mama. Don't come for me, okay? So, I wrote it down. I printed it out and I have it. So I still have that paper until this day. I have that. And then I sent it over to my best friend because I didn't want to lose it. I was like, you know, just in case, because, you know, whatever. So but it was funny because even though I had sat it and forgot it, I still remembered it. I still remember knowing that I had did that. I was like, dang, I wonder if I'll get that. But, you know, I threw it in the back of my mind, you know, kept on going, kept on doing my mundane stuff over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then one fateful day, I was just minding my own black business, and I look at my email. Well, I don't even look at my email. I'm scrolling down. You know how you pull your phone down to see, you know, what's in there, you know, see what you want to, you know, what notifications you want to check. And I see something that says Tulsa Remote. I was like, oh, it must be like a letter that says, you know, thank you for applying or something, but we're not interested. I was cool with that. Because it was like all these things started rushing through my mind right then. Like, what the fuck? I wasn't trying to move no goddamn Tulsa. No, you fucking lie. Oh, hell no. No. Okay. All right. So I opens up the email and my heart dropped. When I say it dropped to the ground because what the fuck? I was like, it must be like a charity thing situation going on because there's no way they could want me. So I scheduled for the interview. It's like they're going to do a 20-minute interview with me. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, whatever. So, let me tell y'all, I prepped for 3 days for a 20-minute interview. And how I prepped was I headed to TikTok. I went to Reddit. I stayed on Reddit a lot because Reddit, it's more of a forum type situation. And people will type out like their experiences and stuff like that. So I got to see exactly what they wanted. I'm not saying that I changed myself or anything like that because the person that I sold to them is the person that I truly am. It's the person that I've been, but I've been asleep for 3 years. So... but it gave me a chance to open up and tell who I really was and what I really could do and what I've done. And so that was the best thing about that. So I researched all those, and then, you know, they was like, they really want people who can do volunteer work, who are basically just in their own community that don't fit in. And I'm looking like, this is all me. So it wasn't like something it didn't feel like something I had to force. Because all I had to do was tell them about myself. But still, I was still prepared. So what I did was I was so grateful that I had wrote down or had printed out that my application. So I printed that all out because I knew what I had said, but I wanted to make sure that everything was still the same. So I read over that again and I memorized it. Then after that, I wrote down some stuff about Tulsa that I was really interested in looking into. So I started looking into that. So then a content creator of mine was telling me about some other things in Tulsa. So I looked into those places and, you know, I learned about the gathering place. I did all this from Kentucky. Like, I'm just like, whatever. But at the same time, while I'm reading all this type of stuff, I'm reading about these types of people that are getting in. They're like, landscapers and architects and tech majors. I mean, when I say tech majors, they're not just like some little ass. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I always say I'm just a basic black bitch from Kentucky. I know that sounds crazy, but like, that's it. There's nothing special about me. I mean, I work remotely, but I work as an executive assistant. I'm like, yeah, it sounds good. Like, I'm like right here, like the executive's up here, and I'm like just right above. Like, it's a distance, okay? It's really not no big job. Yeah, I was a tech major, but that was that. And then I went to acting, so that tells you. Then I went to theater, so that tells you there was a disconnect there. I volunteer. I am all about helping the earth and saving the earth. And I really, really want to do something with Tulsa's homelessness, because that's a whole nother story for a whole nother video. And if this becomes a thing, which I'm thinking it will, I'll tell y'all about that in the next video. But anywho, so that's what I sold to them. And also I also let them know that I was a human trafficking survivor, and I do not stand for human trafficking, and I am 3,000% behind it and stopping it and things like that. And that's something I do really want to continue with. And I've never been able to really work with it here. I kind of did one or two little things in Kentucky, but it wasn't for everybody. It was for that person only, is what I want to say. So I want to do something where it's more of a community. It's like a community build. You can get your own people, you community, and push up. That's what I want to do, and push up and push them out. So I gave them that information. So but I'm still like, these people that I'm seeing on Reddit and on TikTok and on Facebook and on YouTube, they not me. They like big level people. They're not me. So I'm like, I'm thinking they must, how like a couple of times they always have to have like a person that is like a token, like a bottom burrow. And I'm like, that's gotta be it. That's gotta be it. They needed somebody to fill up a hole. That's what it has to be. Because why would they want me? Because like, what's so special about me? Well, I guess we got to see. So I'm prepared for the interview. Me and Jesse, we sitting up on a chair. We are talking. We are ready. It's my dog. So, I do this interview. We talk. And it was funny because I asked her I said, well, I heard that it was a lot of crime there. And she was like, she said something that was a little, well, you know what? I have to put that somewhere else, because I don't want to speak on it, but it was different. It was a different type of situation that occurred. And when it was said, I'm so nonchalant and so cool with anything and everything I do, I just flipped it, and it's all good. I will say that it is the city is definitely different, but I'm coming from Kentucky, okay? Is what it is. But anywho, moving on. So, I got it. I put in my interview. I did my little 20-minute interview with the woman, and, I figured after that little remark, I knew I wasn't in. I was like, fuck it. Well, let's move on with my life. Again, I was still sort of kind of asleep, or I was kind of at that point at the wake up stage. I was waking up and I was trying to open up. It was like, okay, so I was waking up. Had to get smoke in there. So I was waking up. So after I applied, like they was like, well, you'll hear something in like 2 to 3 days. I was like, okay, cool. But man, I steadily was looking. I was like, well, what, I didn't even think I was going to get here. I was like, am I moving? I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, how did I get here? Because I never thought that I would get there. So I was like, I ain't gonna move no fucking Tulsa. I don't care if I get this or not. I don't need this. I don't need this. This is not what I really wanted. This was not what I really wanted. This was not what I really wanted. And I was like, but why not? Why not you? They picked you for a reason. Why not you? And I couldn't answer that question. I'm like, because I'm basic. I'm just basic. And I started reading about this girl. I don't remember her name, and I tell her story a lot because it's awesome to me. She said that she was an art student out of Atlanta, and I seen her on YouTube. I don't remember her name. I think it started with a T, but don't get me lying. I try to find her name, and I will definitely tag her in the bottom of this video as soon as I find her. Anyway, she was an art student out in Atlanta. She said she was basic, and these were her words. She was basic, working in Atlanta. Anyway, long story short, she ended up in Tulsa Remote. After she applied, somehow she went to France. I seen Miss Ma'am on the front page of Ebony. Excuse me? I'm just a basic black bitch from Kentucky, okay? Ebony magazine, I don't know what she was doing. And I'm not saying that I'm her and she is I or whatever, but she was black, okay? That was a lot for me. I grew up on Ebony magazine. That is a hell of accomplishment. For me, and she was fully clothed. She was showing her art. She was showing what she do on Ebony. That is beautiful to me. That is beautiful to me. That's an accomplishment. That's a hell of an accomplishment. Because think about this. Her as a little girl, did she look at Ebony magazine and be like, Mommy, I want to be on the cover of that? You know, because that's a dream. That's big. That's huge. I look at stuff like that. So that's a big, you know, that's just like, you know, when we had a black president, a black president, his wife was black, you know, women looked up to that. You know, women who were like, Mommy, I want to be a president when I grow up. They was able to look at that and be like, yes, see, you too can be presidents too. You know what I'm saying? You too could, all that. And it's a good, but that's something. I looked at Ebony. I remember looking at the Ebony magazine when I was sitting with my grandmother, and to be able to say, me, some basic black bitch from Kentucky, can get on that. I don't know. And that's not a goal of mine or nothing, but I feel like anything's possible. You know, I see they got people on TV. We're going to get off that subject, or that's another story for another sector, okay? But you know, so we're going to move on past that. Okay. Anyway, had to calm myself down. Anywho, so, you know, a day had rolled past. I was like, okay, then I didn't get it, and it's okay. And you know what? That's all right. Life goes on, because this is not really what I really wanted. I knew I wanted to leave. I knew I wanted to go somewhere where didn't nobody know my name, but I really wasn't looking for 9 hours away. I'm looking for more like, you know, 5, like Cincinnati, you know, maybe even like Pennsylvania. Not Pennsylvania, like DC could have been good, you know, somewhere like, just somewhere close. Tennessee would have been good. Like Knoxville, Tennessee would have been perfect for me to be away from home, because I'm only 4 hours away from home. I really wasn't looking for no Tulsa, Oklahoma anyway. So, but I'm still like edgy, because I kind of got this feeling that maybe I did get it, and they just taking a little time to send me my thing, you know, because my last name do start with an M. So, you know, I'm kind of low at the totem pole. So if you're going to get to me, it typically take a little time. Okay, whatever. So, you know, I'm headed. I was like, well, let me go out, because I'm sitting at home. I'm picking my hair. And when I'm nervous, I pick. I'm a picker. When I say I'm a picker, I'm a picker. Okay, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to Bunko. It's a little game I play with my little cackling white women. We shoot the dice. Blue. If you get 3 of a kind of the number that you want, then you get double points. It'll be a whole thing. And you scream, Bunko! Yeah, so that's what I did. Anywho, so I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and go to that, because if I don't, I'm gonna just sit here and pick myself to all hex. So I go to Bunko. I'm sitting in Bunko, and as soon as I get to Bunko, I check my email. I looked down at my phone. I got a notification, and I check my email, and I'm like, I'm stunned. Okay, now let me tell you, I'm an Aquarius, so when I say stunned, the emotion of because like I'm usually cool. I'm like very calculated, especially if I know you, and I know you know. Even if you don't know me at this point, it doesn't even really fucking matter in my life, because people don't nobody know this person of me. So I feel like I gotta always be on alert or whatever. So I'm just like, So I'm like, but the emotion is just gone. Like, cause I don't even know what emotion I feel right now, because I had already talked myself out. I was like, worst case, I don't get it. And then I was like, best case I do. You know, it don't even really matter, because at this point I'm like, I said it did not matter. I was like, it don't matter. It don't matter, because I don't really want to move out there anyway. I don't do that. I don't move no fucking Tulsa. So when they sent me this email and it said congratulations, my whole emotion was it was gone. It was just like, and I'm just sitting there. Like, and one of the ladies is like, are you okay? I was like, yeah. I said, can I talk to you about something real quick? She said, yeah. I said, I applied for something, and I honestly never thought that I'd get right here, right now. And I'm like, I got in. I'm scheduled to move within a year. And she was like, that was sudden. I was like, it was. And it was so sudden. That day feels like it was yesterday. Well, it do feel like it's like a couple of months ago, but it really was like a few months ago. It was like it feels like it was like last month was enough before, but it really was like a year. It was like March, May. You know, was it May? It was like March, April. But yeah, it was like Marches, and I'm just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? So I I did it. So I was like, okay, I did it. I couldn't believe that I had did it. Okay, that's the funniest part about it. I could not believe that basic me, basic Aquarius from Query from good old Kentucky, did it. Okay, and I was like, okay, well that wasn't hard, you know. And here's the funny thing, I'm like, this sounded good, but like I don't particularly like change, right? But I always want to try something new, which just sounds is like it's crazy, right? I don't want it to change, but I want to try something new. Let's try it. So I'm just like, am I doing this? Am I doing this? So I went back and forth with myself for a little bit. I was like, am I doing this? Am I doing this? You know, I couldn't. My biggest thing was I felt like I couldn't make the decision in Kentucky. I couldn't sit in Kentucky and make that decision that I was going to stay in Kentucky or if I was going to go somewhere else without trying out that next place. I just couldn't do that. It just did not seem right. I mean, that just meant just to go and check it out, you know, because, yeah. You know, and I like to travel. I have no problem with traveling as long as I'm in my own car. I want to make sure that when it's time for me to go, guess what? I'm out at 5,000. There ain't going to be no holding me hostage. I got to go. Okay. I'm going to have to cut this in a second because, A, I got to go to work. And 2, I'm running out of space on my phone. So I'm going to do the second part directly on YouTube. But, you know, I felt like I could not make this decision just on Kentucky alone because Kentucky's trash. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. It's a lot going on here, okay? You hear gunshots on just a regular or whatever. And I know y'all thinking, but Tulsa's crime rate. I'm gonna get to that. It's probably not gonna be in this video. It's gonna probably be in the next one. I'm gonna end this one in just a few moments. Just gotta give y'all this last part. So, you know, I felt like I could not make that decision sitting here. So I looked in the Tulsa Remote thing, and they give you the one thing I can say is they definitely had their stuff in a row, because you know a lot of times when you hear a program is new, especially not, I think they've only been around since 2018, and they brought in thus far I think it was like 2,800 people. So thinking that they've only brought in, and I'm thinking that's just the amount, because they from what I read and researched, they get thousands of applications, and then they have to go through and hand select. So they're reading through all your applications one by one. I don't know how that works or whatever, but that's how it made it sound to me. And then you become a finalist, and then once you become a finalist, then you have to go to you have this checklist of things inside of this portal that they give you. And you know, I don't remember what the first one was, but you had to do your employment, and then once that gets accepted, then I think it's your W-9, and then when that gets accepted, and then it just goes through little things. You gotta read through stuff, the videos you gotta watch, I think, and then you get down to this one called a hosted visit, and I was like, ooh, y'all gonna host me? So it was a cute little thing. So the hosted visit gives you all the details of the hosted visit, and then they had just started. I was right. So the April one was just one day. And I was like, I could have made it in April, but I was like, that's only one day. So they were starting a new thing on the May one. I think it was like May 3rd through the 5th. 3rd to the 6th. And I was like, I wasn't going to go because, again, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. And as everybody knows, that's Derby. But I'm not doing nothing here. Like, these people don't fuck with me. They don't even know me. Don't nobody even know me here like that. They knew me when I was 305. Now that I'm 170 pounds soaked wet, they don't even know me. So, and I haven't even tried to push myself out there, you know. And I'm over it. I want to go somewhere where I don't want nobody to know the old me. I just want them to know nothing but this version of me. So that's what this is. But anywho, So I where was we at before that? Before we got there, where was we at? Where was we at? I gotta do that. I might have to stop it then. Let me think. Let me think. Yes, I was at the host visit. So I wasn't gonna go because of Derby, but then I was like, okay, third to fifth, that gives me time because if I can go back now, I can try to see if I can find an apartment or somewhere I like there, so I can secure it from a distance. Fine. So I went in May, and to be honest, I was terrified. I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to fly. I'm terrified to fly. I'm real scary. It seems like while I was asleep during those 3 years, I, like that scary demon just kind of came up on me. And, you know, I've been kind of a little nervous on doing anything nowadays. I don't know why. So I ended up, I looked at the train, but I would have to had found somebody to get me from Norman or from Oklahoma City to Tulsa. And it was going to be a problem. I only knew one person out there. She's a content creator, and she said that she could get me. And I was just like, yeah, but that's a lot. I don't want, this is our first time meeting, ma'am. I don't want to really, bother you with that. So I ended up, sorry. I ended up just saying, Greyhound. Now that was, wow, that was a move all in itself. So I guess this is going to be a long part series to get up to where we're at today, because I'm going to have to stop this. I'm going to stop it at 30 minutes. So it was like Greyhound. Whoo, child. Okay. So now y'all want me to get on a bus with strangers? Oh my God. Oh my God, just the thought, just to be around some strangers I don't even know. And I had been in the house literally for 3 years. Like, I go out, but when I go out, I'm here and I'm in the house. Like I said, I'm just going to my destination and coming back. It's not going to be a long situation. I'm not going to be out long. It's going to be, going to get there and get home. That's that. So, I'm an introvert. I've been trying to bring myself back out, but since that COVID brought me in and just made me by myself, so I got on Greyhound. All right, my nose was itching. Anywho, so I didn't get on Greyhound. I'm sorry, I did get on Greyhound, but getting on Greyhound I was so nerve wracking. I was so nervous. I was sitting here and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I got plans. I was going to take a late night bus because I wanted to, I took a late bus because I figured it would take it over in the next day. So the buses from home, I realized, took 23 hours. I was not taking a 23-hour bus from Kentucky. I'm lying. And that's because Louisville doesn't have a hub any longer. So when you ride the Greyhound, if you're coming from Kentucky, I would suggest you getting a ride to Indianapolis. And then at that point, it only takes you 13 hours. I have my own car, so I got rides. And I paid for everything. I was like, listen, I'll pay you some cash. I don't have a lot of money. My people, that's one thing I want to do. I want to thank people who have gotten me this far. My best friend, my daughter, each one of them, they have taken out time in their lives to make sure that this has actually happened for me. So I got my daughter to drive me to Indianapolis. She drove my car home. She switched out cars. She met up with my best friend, and they got my keys. My best friend picked me up in Indianapolis on the way. She picked me up in St. Louis on the way back. That was a long ass ride, especially being a car with your ex. It's a long ass ride. But anywho, so I went, and I'll be honest, the way there, God sent me a little angel. Her name was Cherry. And Cherry, I learned later on in the ride that Cherry was a hustler. And Cherry reminded me of myself when I was younger, and she made me rethink of where I never wanted to go back to. But she also made me realize that it's okay to be, I want to celebrate my old self because it's okay. I went through that. I realized that people have to go through things in order to appreciate things. And if I wasn't able to see her in the way that I was when I was in her situation, I wouldn't have been able to take light from that and to be able to say, dang, Nina, look at you. Look where you came from. And I'm not saying that her story wasn't bad or anything like that. It wasn't a bad. I think I'm not trying to be. Yeah. Not to talk about nobody or nothing like that, but it was just, I knew where I had came from and I knew where I would never go back to. And I'm happy to be able to celebrate me for that, is what I'm getting at. Well, anywho, so God sent me Cherry because she was awesome. She really, and we ended up changing numbers and things like that. And she rode with me all the way to Oklahoma, and she was going to where was she going to? She was going to California, and I remember her saying she was a Scorpio, and she made me feel safe. Scorpios always make me feel safe for whatever reason. She did, and like we were in the store, we went to the Greyhound. It's a 13-hour ride with this strange woman, and I'm very dainty in person. I'm very like, you see my hands, y'all, I'm dainty, so I'm very dainty in person, and so she was like, no, leave my friend alone. She knew it. She was like, I got you, friend. I got you. I was like, thank you, Cherry. You know, she was really cool. But the way there was cool. So then I got off. My content creator friend was there. So she picked me up and took me. We got everything situated. I went to the hosted visit. I stayed downtown. Downtown Tulsa is very different. We're going to get to that in the next one. I'm going to actually write down where I'm at now so that we could start at the hosted visit and how it went. And we'll talk about the homeless in Tulsa, and we'll just work up. I am going to try to do these every morning. They're probably about 30 minutes long. I hope I get some subscribers. If not, I understand. If you do like this, please like, subscribe, share, share with your friends. This is going to be my journey to Tulsa Remote. I just decided to do this. Woke up this morning, like, boom, let's do this. We're going to get out there. We're going to do this. We're going to get, oh yes, Aquarius out there. So this is what we're doing. So I hope y'all enjoy this. If you like this and you want to see more of this, you want to hear more about my story, I will go into detail about my life, about who I am as a person. This is going to be my channel, like my vlog or whatever you want to call it. Anywho, but if you like this, make sure you like, subscribe, share, save with your friends and your family. Thank you so much for coming, and peace.